Hey y'all, it's me. It's been 12 days since I've actually done a video, and I thought, I've had so much fun doing the shorts, and they're super easy to do. It gives me a chance just to pop in and say hi, and I keep my phone in my pocket, so anytime I'm out and I see something that I think I just want to share this with my buddies, it just takes a few minutes to actually do the recording and then to upload it on the computer or on my phone. I don't have to do it on the computer. But anyway, today, this is what I'm doing. Working on a few tomatoes. And tomatoes are just so much easier and so less time consuming than beans. So they're just easy. Hugh can bring me a couple of baskets full of tomatoes and I can work through those in just a few minutes and go on to do other things with my day. So, but anyway, if you want to hang out with me, let's work these tomatoes up and have a little chat. All right, and we'll set y'all down right here. Some of you older ladies like me will remember these old dish pans, and my mother-in-law had about 4 or 5 of them, and this is what they're used for, is working up the vegetables, getting them ready for the canning process. So anyway, I've got my sink scrubbed out and full of clean water, and we don't use any kind of sprays on our tomatoes, so I'm not washing them because they have any kind of spray residue, but I'm just washing them to get the grime that settles on them outside when it rains and it pops up dirt, and little bugs will hang out on them and do their thing, But so anyway, it's just quick to wash them when you don't have any kind of poison residue on them. And they're not perfect. You can see that they are absolutely not perfect because they're not treated with anything. But we did get rid of I had told you earlier that we had blight going on, the blossom end rot. And that was because they weren't uptaking the calcium like they needed to. Well, we got rid of that, and so we're good. But you can see that there's places where there's some kind of damage. That's not a problem. That will just be cut off, and we'll go from there. You don't have to get rid of tomatoes if they've got just a little bad spot or a bug bite or anything like that. Just cut around it and go with it. All right. There's Pops. Say hi to Pops.
Hello everybody. Watching canned tomatoes. Apparently we didn't get the mail yesterday.
I guess we didn't. We don't always get the mail. Yeah, Pops has been putting up hay all day.
I want to watch everybody. Everybody gonna watch canned tomatoes, are they?
Now we're just going to hang out while we're washing them and getting them ready to can.
Well, I'll put my thing together in here.
Okie doke. Yeah, Pop's got to put his little, that might be loud in here. There we go. But he's got to put his little juicer together. And probably you'll get to watch some of that, in case you didn't watch the Warp Speed earlier this week when he was doing the apples. But I can get ahead of him just a little bit. He can start on his end doing what he needs to. Tomatoes, I wish beans were just half this easy, and I wouldn't dread them so badly. But I hope that y'all are having that you had a nice week. Today is Sunday, so we're starting on a new week. And we've had a good week here. Been really busy. Hugh actually had a bit of a scare this week because he turned the hay baler over. But that was not his fault. That was the fault of groundhogs. And we've talked about how dangerous groundhogs are on a farm where there's tractors running. What had happened when he was running the hay baler in this upper field, he had, I want to scoot you back just a second. He ran across a groundhog hole that caved in. It just totally caved in on him. And that was just not the good thing. Scoot you down a little bit. Alright, there's my hand to dismiss something. But it did not do permanent damage to the baler. He was, the baler itself is fine, but it did mess up the sheet metal on it. And I'm just cutting out the great big pieces, like the stem end. Everything else, this juicer actually separates everything, so it's super easy to use. It'll shoot the skin and the seeds out one side, and the juice out the other side. It makes it super easy, so I don't even have to be careful how I'm cutting them up or anything. Just as long as I make them small enough to go down in the little hole. You see, I'll cut the whole big area right there off. But anyway, we're just blessed that he didn't get hurt and the piece of equipment didn't get hurt. Tractor kerfuffles, unfortunately.
Well, we need to eliminate groundhogs.
Okay. Now they need to eliminate groundhogs. That's the truth. And those of you that are like me and have just a tender heart toward animals, that's hard to hear. But as Aiden said a little while ago, I don't know what they're barking about.
So you're good.
I don't know what they're barking about. That tomato's a little soft all over the place. I'm not going to put it in here. I don't know what the doggies are up to. Yeah, and I'm going to put citric acid in these. Our tomatoes are heirloom tomatoes, so that's not necessary if you use heirloom tomatoes because they have plenty of acid in them already. But I think that it just makes it a little safer. So if any of you are canning tomatoes that you're picking up from a co-op or from a farmer's market, you probably, to be on the safe side, you probably definitely need to use citric acid. And I bought mine from Amazon, and it's a very small amount. I think that the recipe I was looking at the other day said a quarter of a teaspoon maybe per quart. I'll have to look again before I go on with the canning process. But super doable. Just an easy step to take just to make sure that you're making everything safe. And of course your salt. And there again, the salt, you know, we had talked about that when we were doing the beans. The sea salt, I think what it does is that it just, you know, your fruits and vegetables can end up a little bit cloudy, but everything I read said that it's safe. You just probably won't win any blue ribbons at the county fair. But I'm not planning on entering the county fair with anything, so I do have, and I found it the other day, I do have my canning salt. I had just not located it yet in all this process, so I'm going to use it for the rest of what I'm doing this year anyway. But anyway, we won't get a canner run from this point, you know, all the way through the process, so I'll put another video out later in the week, you know, showing the canning process for them. And any of you younger women that are just learning to can from the get-go, I hope these will benefit you. My mother-in-law put up so many fruits and vegetables and things in the freezer. You know, she froze her corn. That's something we'll do together too. But the way that she did her corn was just lightly. My nose is itching really bad, girls. I'm wondering. So anyway, she actually, after years, you know, used her microwave. Of course, when Hugh and I first got married, she used the stove top. Somebody had to stand and stir it the whole time while it was just getting ready, just cooking down a little bit. And I'm not really sure of the purpose of that. It's like kind of like a parboil step, but that's not what it's called. With what is it called, Huey, when you're cooking down corn to put in the freezer? He can't hear me. He's probably already taken his hearing aids out. But anyway, it serves a purpose. I'll see if I can find out before we do that. And some of you ladies out there in the YouTube world, you know, and you can remind me. But corn is very easy to do too, especially since he was usually the one that uses the corn, whatever that long skinny thing is that peels all of the corn kernels off. But it is really easy using the microwave for that step because you don't have to stand and stir it. You can go about other things. But you almost just get it hot. It doesn't have to be cooked through. You don't want it to be cooked through because when you get it out of the freezer, you want to cook it as you're heating it. And then it will taste really fresh. If you've got good freezer bags and everything sealed up well, corn should last in your freezer for a year. We've used it a year after it's been put up and had no issues with freezer burn. So it's just a matter of making sure you have everything sealed up well. Alright, and see, when there's a big blip like that, I just go in and cut that out. No harm. But I'm just so glad that that calcium got rid of the blossom end rot. And that's something, as many years as I've been gardening, I did not realize. And I'm just going to reiterate this again because some of y'all may not have seen that video. And if you grow tomatoes and you start seeing signs of blossom end rot, where the end of your tomato has, you know, it looks like it's rotting, it's because it's not taking up enough calcium, and also because they've gotten too dry. So you want to keep your tomatoes nice, and it seems like it would be just the opposite, that you'd have issues with the tomatoes getting blossom end rot if they were too wet. But I'm sure there's other diseases that cause problems when it's wet. But the blossom end rot is from getting too dry and not taking up enough calcium. So we actually bought some calcium and put around the base of the tomato plants, and then I watered them in good and then, well, since then actually we've had enough water so the plants haven't had to been watered. But had we not had all the rain we've had in the last couple of weeks, I probably would have watered them every 3 days or so just to keep them good and moist. All right. Let me see if I can get Huey in here to run this bowl through so y'all can see this happen. It's actually pretty fun, especially with him doing his Tim the Toolman Taylor impersonation. It doesn't take but a minute. all the doggies closed on the other side of the very snozzed on door, except for Bodie. Bodie's just laying here. Hey, Hubie, can you come and go ahead and run this one bull? Yeah. Yeah, everybody wants to see you do your Toolman Taylor impersonation. Let me turn you around and carry you on in here. See all this snaz on these doors? I think I have figured out a solution, because keeping them clean is almost impossible. But what I am going to do, I ordered some of the frosted window film. Okay, he went to wash his hands. And I'm going to actually, on this back side, because if I put it on the other side, the dogs would just rip it off their toenails. But on this back side, I'm going to clean these up good this week and go ahead and just put the frosted glass or the frosted film inside of each of these. That means I won't be able to look in here and see my slightly cluttered, messy, everything gets put in here room. But the good thing is that I also won't have to see the dog snaz. It doesn't mean that there won't be dog snaz on there. It just means that it won't be quite as visible. Does dog snaz make anybody else tired? It just makes me tired. All right. And now here, if y'all hadn't seen the beans, and the reason I put this towel and trash bag on here was to keep you from splashing applesauce on it the other day on them, because they're all washed and ready to go to the basement. And as a matter of fact, they're all already dated with this year, so we're good. And here's Pops with his trusty tool. You gotta have a scooper. All right. So, and there's the half gallons I did earlier. One of them spewed a little bit, so I just went ahead and stuck it in the refrigerator to go ahead and use. Okay, there he is. He needed something for the peels to come out of. Or to come out in.
Thing here, it does applesauce. And it does tomatoes, and you don't have to cook the tomatoes. And I'm fighting tendonitis and a bad shoulder, so we started a couple of years ago using a drill.
And he does like being Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Anything to make it easier.
That's true. Work is work, but it's nice to make it just a little bit.
Work is way overrated, is what it is, but it's necessary.
Is your battery going?
No, I just barely pulling the trigger.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to go fast.
But he says that the drill probably speeds it up by at least 3 times faster than it is otherwise. So if any of y'all have this juicer set up, then it might be worth your time and effort to drag your drill out. Show them what the end looks like that you've got stuck in there, so they can see what the contraption.
Do what?
Show them what the end piece is that you have in your drill. Okay.
That's just
So, that's what the handle actually goes on.
The handle goes on it right here.
Okay. So
And
what's
the
in the end of
threads.
the?
It's just like putting a drill bit in it.
There we go. All right. Well, that's simple enough. Okay.
But you really wouldn't have to core the tomatoes, but she does. All you need to do is just cut them small enough to where you can poke them down through the hole. But this thing takes the seeds peel and everything and push it out the end.
Look at that look of concentration.
But that's all there are to it.
And then you end up with
And
your
you got
juice
dry peels and seeds on that end and
and your peels.
juice on that end. I was gonna leave it hooked up because you're gonna cut
Yeah.
the rest of them up, ain't you?
Yes, I am. It'll be ready in just a second. Nice. Thank you, Pops.
What you can do, you can probably do 2 boxes of tomatoes in 10 or 15 minutes.
And tomatoes don't take any time. They just don't take any time. It's wonderful.
Apples, you have to cook them just long enough to make them soft.
Yeah.
And then just take the seeds out. Because they say the seeds have a small concentration of arsenic, so you would want to cook the seeds.
Right.
Don't core them, just cut them down small enough to get them in there.
Really?
Honey, it'll spit that core right out the end.
I know.
Huh?
I know, but it's just easier for me. I don't know. For some reason, it's easier to cut them up and everything when they're cored. So I'll do it this way.
Use a big knife. You
Cute.
need a short knife. She
There
likes
he,
to use a
there
dull
he
knife.
is in here bossing me.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to save you work.
I know. That's all right. It won't take me but a second.
Well, just so you know, guys, you don't have to core them.
Okay, did you hear him? Just so you know, you do not have to core them. Okay. I'm adding steps that are unnecessary.
Yes. There's enough hard work without going to little far too far.
Yeah. But anyway, our granddaughter Michaela got installed in her school this weekend. Aiden went up and helped with that. And he said it's a beautiful campus. She is at Millikan, I think it's called Millikan University in Tennessee. Elizabethan. Somebody from Tennessee tell me how to pronounce that, because I have never known how to pronounce that. But anyway, that's where Michaela's at. She will be swimming for their team there. That's part of her scholarship. And she's ready to get going. Pops and I will go up and visit with her as soon as she gets settled in good and take her out to dinner. And she's going to be close enough actually for us to be able to go watch her swim meets, which was always hard when they lived in South Georgia. So I think we'll actually be able to see her more often than we were ever able to before. And that will be lovely. But anyway, I do want to just reach out to y'all that are in Southern California, and my heart just goes out to you. I am hoping that the rains from this hurricane are now downgraded to a tropical storm, but apparently the concern is the water that's going to be dropped. And y'all, I hope that you're taking every precaution to be safe. And I hate this. I just hate this. We have had so much damage this year in so many different directions. That one's got a big core. And see, I don't see them going through there that easily, but Hugh does. But anyway, I wish there were something that we could do to just make these storms go a different direction. Maybe in the future there will be some kind of a scientific discovery that will just help to redirect these storms. I know that there has been it sounds like it's science fiction, but there has been some efforts with what they call seeding a storm. Unless I'm just dreaming, it seems like I've read this in years past, that they're trying different things just to, to make a storm play itself out while it's still in the ocean before it actually gets to land. I hope that comes about. And then the wildfires. It's just been a year of it, and those of you that have been in the midst of it, my heart just goes out to you. I hope that you all will be safe, and that the most minimal damage will occur if it has to occur. Otherwise, that none at all will. That would be my choice. But anyway, y'all, I am going to finish these tomatoes up. I'm not going to just make you stand here and watch me with these tomatoes, but I did want to put out some little video this week because I just feel like I've been a little bit negligent just doing the shorts. See, I can't even remember the words. All these YouTube words. I can't remember what they all are. But anyway, let's look at this. And Claude, and they're right here in the front. That was good of them. I fed them this morning, but these fatzos think they're supposed to be fed multiple times a day. And when Aaron and Corey come over, they kind of fuss at me. You're feeding them too much, Mom. I said, I'm going to feed them, and you guys can keep the tank clean. I think that's fair. I like watching them eat. But they are beauties. How much fun. All right. And over there sits my canvas. I'm getting ready to do the logo. That will be the logo for my videos. I don't know if you can really tell what it is. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just drawn on right now. And it's going to be like a vignette, but it'll be a mountain that will fade into just the outline of a mountain with with the brush, and then my moniker, Mountain Brushworks by PH Best, and the byline will be Serenity in Oils. So anyway, I've got to get that done because that will go on my business cards. My friend Tammy is actually in Europe. She's been in Europe for the last couple of weeks, so I know when she comes back she's going to say, haven't you gotten that done yet? And I'm going to say, no, I've been canning beans and tomatoes. So I'm very, very thankful for her, and I'm looking forward to having her help me with this and getting back into my art world. And I will end with Cleo and Claude, or Claudia. I still don't know whether we've got a boy and a girl, or two boys or two girls. So, whatever. All right, y'all. Enjoyed spending this time with you. Love you much. And I know I'll see you in the next couple of days in the shorts, because I just enjoy those. But I will plan on seeing you at least once a week besides those. And hopefully we're going to start going up to the cemetery and walking again. It's probably going to be late evening during the rest of these warm summer months. And as we get into fall, maybe more in the middle of the day, and then this winter will be definitely in the middle of the day. But love y'all. Take care. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Well, I don't know why I can't turn my phone off. It's telling me that I can't use Bixby. I think I'm gonna have to take it out of this. All right, let me take it out of this guy. And now, I think I can turn it off. See you tomorrow.